Okay, so the project we are going to be making this week is going to be to make a soap dispenser. So everyone is going to get a pump and the corkscrew, or cork. So these can be functional. You can use them. They will work. I'm going to show you how you're going to measure the size to fit the cork that will go into the soap dispenser. And so we'll talk about that. Now you can design it any way you would like. I ask that you try to use as much of the length of the straw as possible, but you can cut it shorter if you need to, okay? Although when you cut it shorter, it doesn't work as much. So I want you to try to use as much as you can. Now there's different shapes you can use, so you can look those up on the internet to find ideas. So yeah, so the cork is tapered, so it's wider at the top, narrower at the bottom, and clay shrinks as it dries and gets fired and all that. So we want to account for a little bit of that drying, so that we want the cork to fit in and not sit up really, really high. We want it to kind of fit in there so that it looks nice. So let's get to work. You're going to want to have the cork with you while you are throwing so that we can use this as a measurement. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to throw the soap dispenser, and then I'm going to use the wider part, which is the top of the cork, and I'm going to make sure that it fits inside of the top, the wider part, with a little bit of wiggle room, not a whole lot. I'm not going to be able to show you because my hands are going to be all wet and gross. So I'm recording this on my laptop, so I'm not going to be able to hold it and show you. But I'm going to use the wider part, which is the top of the cork, and I'm going to make sure that it fits, not with a whole lot of room, but it fits easily in there without touching the sides. That way, that's usually a perfect fit for as it dries, that it will fit in there really good. So I'm going to have this off to the side because I'm going to be using that as a measurement. I'm going to get started. I'm not going to talk while they talk. Do this. I got to put this down while my hands are clean. Oh! It hasn't happened to me in forever. You can go to your math teacher, and you also just got called down to the office, so I'd stop there on the way. Don't know. I just heard your name. Okay, yeah. Good luck. Good luck. You're good. Bye. All right. Sorry about that. We got a little distracted. What's going on here? All right. Oh. All right. So getting it centered. I probably have way too much clay here, but I'll just have to trim it down. I always do that. I always overestimate how much clay I'm going to need. And I should know that about myself by now, so I should not do that because I should make sure I'm aware of that and not repeat that. You don't want the whole base to be really wide because potentially you could use this and you don't want to have a big.
Good morning, Bengals. This is Wilmer Honiotis. And it's time for your morning announcement. The first listen meeting is today at 2:30 in the Media Center. Join us at our welcome meeting for pizza and fun. Pride, gear, and courage. Guys, we're leaving a mess at the church. We're lucky to park there, and we need to be able to eat lunch there. Please clean up after yourself. Take your garbage to the garbage can and leave it better than you found it. Hey, seniors, want to be a Sterling Scholar? Seniors with extraordinary scholarship scores, as well as service and leadership and citizenship, are eligible to apply in the following categories: English, mathematics, social science, science, world languages, computer technology, skills and technical sciences education, family and consumer sciences, business and marketing, theater, arts, forensics, visual art, instrumental music, and dance. Applications are available from the department chairpersons and are due September 26, 2020.
FBLA opening social is Friday, September 18th during lunch in room 201. We will be making bracelets and having pizza and drinks. Members are free, non-members pay $5. Bring your $20 dues to the main office. Pay the $5 fee for this activity at the main office. Bring receipts to Miss Day. Hope to see you there.
Seniors in the American Problems Government class are preparing for the totalitarian simulation scheduled to begin September 21st through October 2nd. The simulation is designed to teach students about a form of government that seeks complete control over its citizens.
It got really thin, so it started to ripple, so I'm hoping to save this.
The purpose of the simulation is to help students understand the importance of limited government, civil liberties, and just how the Constitution promotes freedom. The student body will likely notice participants in the simulation wearing the same clothing, saluting government officials, and watching what they say. American Problem students have been instructed to not interfere with other school activities. We ask the student body to respect this instructional activity by not disrupting the simulation or antagonizing its participants. If you have any questions about the simulation, feel free to stop by and see Mr. Hatfield or Mr. Podium in room 318.
Have you ever wanted your work featured in a nationally recognized
I'm going to start coding it in.
Well, Room is the place for you. Not only can you make writings, poems, and art to be featured in the magazine, you can join the Runes crew to help hold events, put together the magazine, and make friends along the way. If you want to join the crew or publish stuff you want to, visit Mr. Myers in room 215 for more information.
Bengals, this is an important message from your administration. Students, COVID is a real threat to our school year. We want to stay in school, and in order to do so, we need your help. You must wear your mask at all times. You must help your teachers clean your desks. Social distance as much as possible. The times when you are most relaxed at lunch and in between classes is when you need to be the most vigilant. Mask up, Bengals. Keep us in school. Thanks for listening, and remember, we are VHS.
I'm so sorry about that. Maybe I'll find a way to edit that out. I have no idea how. Okay, so you don't want the bottom of this to be very, very wide because potentially it could sit on your sink next to your sink, so you don't have to be like hanging off. So when the announcements are going, I was pulling this up and it started to get super thin, and that's why it started to ripple. I have kind of saved it. I did save it. So I'm just gonna do another little pull to kind of even it out here. All right. So before I start to kind of make my shape, I want to make sure there's no water sitting down there before I do anything. So I'm going to get all the water out. Well, my hand can still fit. Trim that top off one more time. All right. Now I'm going to start working on the shape. I'm going to kind of have a shape where I kind of want to have, I'm going to work at getting a longer neck. So I'm going to cone this in. So I'm going to make sure my hands are wet. And from the outside, I'm going to start down low. And I'm going to slowly push in with my hands as I go up. Now, because we are making the clay go from wide to thin, it might start to ripple towards the top because we're trying to force this clay that was thick back thin. So if it starts to ripple, we're going to just do like a little bit of a pull up, and it might get uneven. Now I have this ripple because I let it get thin, so I'm just going to work with it so I don't have to redo this demo. I will redo it someday, but I just want to have it so you guys can see it. But I'm just going to work with the ripple. I trim this off. That's starting to get uneven. Now it's starting to get thick up here, so I'm going to just kind of do a little pull just from the neck, just to kind of thin it out a little. Okay, there we go. Also with trimming them can be really tricky. I want you to have at least the bottom cleaned up,
but you do not have to have a foot on it, just because sometimes it can be tricky because the neck can be so thin that it won't support the weight to trim. I'm trimming the top off again because it's getting a little uneven. I'm just going to take a little bit of the height off just so we even that out. Now I'm going to measure it here in just a second. Just going to kind of clean up. I'm going to do another little pull just because it keeps getting thick because you have the clay so wide, and getting it thin, or sorry, coning it in makes it go from thin to thick. So the neck here keeps getting thick. I'm just going to do a little pull. Thin it out. I'll trim it again. I don't like how long that neck is. All right, so now I'm looking like it might be getting close to the size. So what I'm going to do to check is I am going to stop the wheel. I'm going to take the fatter end of the cork and stick it in. Now it's pretty wide in there. You can kind of see it's very, very wide. So I want to coat it in just a little bit more. I don't want it to be that wide. So I get my hands wet and I hug it in there. You want to make sure you keep that perfect circle because your cork is a perfect circle. All right, so always stop the wheel. I'm going to hold it in there, and that's actually pretty perfect right there. It fits in with a little bit of wiggle room. I'm going to kind of pause there on there so you can kind of see that. It fits in with a tiny bit of wiggle room. Okay, so I kind of like my shape. I'm gonna, because I won't be able to trim this that much, I'm gonna try to take this tool and I'm going to trim off as much as I can so that I don't have to turn it upside down to trim it. So I'm gonna clean it up with this tool. Ooh, I just gouged it right there. All right, so we're cleaning that up nicely. All right, I'm actually going to take the metal rib tool and clean that up just a little bit more to smooth it out. I actually really am liking this shape. It also gets off all of the slip there too. Now, if you want to kind of carve any designs or details into it, feel free. Both of the ones I showed at the beginning, one is a little grenade, and the other one had lines going vertically down. But feel free to make it more creative if you'd like. Maybe your bathroom has a theme to it. Yeah, actually, I was nervous at first, but I'm actually okay with how it turned out. I like it. Okay, because I did a little bit of movement with that, I'm just going to double check to make sure that this still fits in there. Remember, my wheel is stopped, and it does, so we are good. I actually am proud of this, and because I cleaned up the bottom so much, I hopefully won't have much more cleaning up to do as it dries. So again, I'm going to cut it off the wheel, but I'm not going to take it off the wheel. And let it get leather hard. Sorry about all the announcements. I hope you enjoyed this video, and good luck.